tits up. Okay, let's get this up and running. So that's what things look like right now. Let's take a look, see if this loads fine. Yeah, okay, but anyway, we're going to go over to this screen so we can take a look at the list of Rune. Why does it do that? I'm going to have to fix that by the next event. Okay, Rune Printzlau is playing Magva Yarrow with Selfless, Princess Leia, and Pivot Wing open, as it were. I should take that off. And Cassian Andor with Selfless and Pivot Wing. And a 10 Nom with Crackshot and Jamming Beam, and a Braylon Stram with Crackshot and Jamming Beam.
And I happened to actually mess it up on the first.
Right, so not bad, huh? Okay, right, let's get rid of that one and switch over. Yeah, I need to fix that. Jan-Joel Salo from Gothenburg, Sweden as well. He's playing Crackshot with Pivot Wing. Magva Yarrow with Crackshot and Pivot Wing. Benfic 2 Tubes, a Perceptive Co-Pilot and Pivot Wing. Blue Squadron Scout with Tactical Officer Leia Organa and Pivot Wing. And a Tactical Officer on a Partisan Renegade with Gina Urso and a Pivot Wing. So 6 U-Wings battling it out with 2 B-Wings kind of like watching. a bit of a slap fight going on here between between U-Wings I should say. Let me get this scanner closed. When my mouse wakes up, there it is. And let me double, so I've put a couple of icons. I've got on Magva, on Joe and Joel's side of the table, we've got Magva Yarrow, and she's got a green token on her stem. Benfic 2 Tubes doesn't have any token on his stem. Blue Squadron Scout has a red token on on the stem, and Partisan Renegade has a blue token on the stem. Why he's put blue on the Partisan Renegade and red on the Blue Squadron, I've got no idea, but that's the way he plays it, so I said go ahead. On the other side of the table, I've put a turquoise token on Braylon Stram just to tell him a little bit, because the markings on the B-Wings aren't as clear as other ships, and so it can be a bit difficult to see on the camera. So I put the turquoise colour, even though the Dagger Squadron and the Blue Squadron paint jobs to distinguish them when you look at them physically. On the camera it doesn't come out too well, so I put a token on Braylon Stram to be able by him. And then Cassian is the white, the rebel U-Wing, whereas Magva is the partisan rebel U-Wing, as all things as things should be. Right, what else have I got to get done here as far as the screen's concerned? I think, the initiative. So, he's moving the blue, and let's see when Magva moves, and then I will know what's going on. Magva is going to straight forward. Right, so Magva's moving first on Jan Joel's side of the table, so that means Jan Joel has the initiative. Focus. Or first player, as we should say now, because we call initiative something else. And let me switch my laptop into tablet mode so it doesn't interfere so much with my cables. And let me just double check. Let me just talk you through the list a little bit. Once I get my card browser up and running. Okay, so Magva, even though we saw it on the screen earlier, but just to remind everybody, while a friendly ship at range 0 to 2 defense, the attacker cannot re-roll more than 1 attack die. Yeah. That's her, and she's got Selfless, and I need to get rid of these open. Selfless, while no friendly ship at range 0 to 1 defense, before the neutralize result steps, if you are in the attack arc, you may suffer 1 crit damage to cancel.
With what?
1 crit result.
No, it's random.
And the pivot wing allowing him to do that 90-degree turn when he wants to. And that's something we're going to be seeing a lot of, no? While you defend, roll 1 fewer defense die, you can flip. Why is it going to show me 1 card? Flip. Right, okay. Before you activate, you may flip this card.
1 region here?
Yeah, so while the pivot wings are closed, he can he rolls 1 fewer defense die. It's really weird, deep said like that. After you execute 0 maneuver, you can rotate 90 or 180 degrees. So you can face any direction he wants when he does a 0 maneuver. And that's basically what we're going to see a lot of, because there's 6 E-Wings on the table, so they're all going to be at it. Cassian Andor also is selfless. Cassian, in his case, his ship is... no, that's the crew card. There we go. At the start of the activation phase, you may choose one friendly ship at range 1 to 3, and if you do, that ship removes 1 stress token. Why is it? Okay, fine. So he's got selfless as well to be able to suffer a crit damage. 10 numb. While you defend or perform an attack, you may spend 1 stress token to change all your focus to evade or crit results. So you're going to see that ship being stressed as much as possible by using that red barrel roll icon. Red barrel roll, I guess. And there's linked actions. Why? There we go. Focus and barrel roll, I guess. And Braylon is, while you defend or perform an attack, if you are stressed, you may re-roll up to 2 dice. So another one is going to be stressed. So these B-Wings want to be stressed as much as possible, doing K turns, stuff like that to clear that, stuff like that to make sure they keep stress, or linking their barrel rolls to focus actions. Jamming beam, what's that do? Just to remind everybody at home, we've got jamming beam. If this attack hits, all hits and crits results inflict jam tokens instead of damage, and that throws 3 dice at range 1 to 2. So those are the cards. Let's get ourselves onto the chat and see how things are going to go. I didn't cut the stream, but I should be able to take care of this one. So it's 2 games. So thank you for joining us. Round 2 is underway. Both players are on a winning record of having won the first game, basically. This is, yeah, that's it. That's all I have to say right now. And yeah, and it looks like a pretty evasive opener to the game. No one really wants to come head on. Excuse me. No one really wants to come head on. Did the best I could to get away from like that. And so they're just kind of like, and it looks to me like Jan Joel is playing more cautiously. He's the one running, whereas Rune Printzlau is the one who is chasing. Trying to press the engagement. So 4 ships with 8 hull on Jan Joel's side of the table is 20, and then
it should have been two straight. Yeah, exactly. I mean 1 straight.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 3 is 8, and then the B-Wings are another 8, so it's 40 hull, and then the option of selfless means that stuff gets spread around a bit.
Yeah, it'll be more crucial in the later part.
Later it could have been really critical.
Oh no, I'm doing my maths wrong. 8 times 4 is 24.
So normally I do the 2
so
straight.
Yeah, 60, 20, 48.
Straight up. That would be more.
8, 16. Oh, 32, right. Jesus. 32, 64 total.
No mind.
So this is going to be a long game, basically. It's going to take a long time to get all that damage through. But let's see how well it goes. It's getting warm in here, man. And they say Sweden's cold. No way. Maybe outside, but not in here. And we were discussing earlier about how my next event will be in Madrid, the last weekend of June, the System Open there. We've currently got 280 tickets sold, and tickets are still on sale. I was mistaken earlier when I said that Admiral tickets were still available. Those sold out in 20 minutes. 150 Admiral tickets sold out straight away. So yeah, nothing to really do there. But there's still tickets available, and you've got a month, and right now might be like a pretty good time to find flights to Madrid if you're interested. We always have a great event there, a great atmosphere. It's in the venue that I prefer, because the last 2 events we've had in a slightly different venue, a little bit further away, and everyone always said like, no, the first venue that we had, which is the one I prefer, is smaller, which I didn't think so. I thought it was huge. I thought there was space for like 400 players easily. But more importantly for me was that there were amenities close by in the event, in the sports hall that they would get. They've been getting the last couple of events. It's really far removed from anything in the middle of town, basically on a small town, as it were, on the outskirts of Madrid. And when the click, switch camera because they're on dials. There you go. When it's a Sunday, basically there's nothing open, so you're basically stuck. And if the vending machine in the sports hall runs out of drink, that's it. But the same sort of problem is in the other sports hall, but it's just there's other stuff nearby. There's a few restaurants a short walk away, and a petrol station to be able to get stuff to eat and drink. So my personal opinion is that if you've been to the last system open we had in Madrid, if you had a problem with that venue, I will personally turn around and say you'd probably find this year's venue to be much better in that respect. Yeah, so Rune decides to press the engagement by going through the asteroids to say, hey, you're not going to escape me here. And he could probably even try and split the B-wings, kind of fork off here. Let me switch over back to the other camera, and I can try and explain what I'm thinking he's going to do here. And it is that the U-wings are going to kind of stab forward. That's not a straight line, but that, you know what I'm trying to say. Whereas the B-wings could like try and splinter here. Wow, I need a new laptop. And then just kind of like focus round, assuming that Jan Joel is just going to continue to try and NASCAR around the board edge. You know, so this is a bad example. What I'm talking about is that the B-wings are just kind of S-bend to kind of cut the route off for Jan Joel. You know, if Jan Joel wants to head all the way along something similar to this, if he wants to head all the way along the board edge and then come around the asteroid, trying to look for a more favourable engagement, then he's probably opening himself up to a pincer here by Rune, where Rune can just take the left turn and then the left turn, maybe barrel roll to make sure he gets himself into a good position to be able to move past the asteroids for the next turn, and then take the right turn, the next turn coming up, or even banks, you know, like a 2-bank followed by a 3-bank next turn would put him, assuming that Jan Joel is going to be going in that direction, would put him right in front of him with the B-wings and have the U-wings coming up from the flank, if not the rear.
Normally used to lay out like this time, but I've screwed up. So it happens. And then you die. I'm going to do a coordinate action.
Yeah.
Focus over here.
Yes.
Because I am most likely to bump in there. But it's too hard.
So coordinates.
When you don't play the game, you get to...
This one is Benfic 2 tubes. I didn't check what Benfic 2 tubes does. Sorry. No, I went through all the cards except for Benfic. Make sure you're aware. Benfic 2 tubes. After you perform a focus action, you may transfer one of your focus tokens to a friendly ship at range 1 to 2. And he's got that perceptive co-pilot on there as well to make sure he gets super focus tokens that he can just pass around as much as he wants. Which is probably what happened there, is that Magva coordinated focus action to him and then allowed him to focus onto
And Magva is going to do it
onto the blue squadron. No, the Partisan Renegade passes focus token to the Partisan Renegade. No. The Partisan Renegade moved, coordinated a focus action to Benfic, who then gave the Partisan Renegade the focus token.
Yeah, so that's I think maybe I should just have gone for the one straight now. Now you get a lot more. One straight, and then might have...
One straight would have been decent out of range.
So in this case, Jan Joel has seen what I was talking about with Rune having the opportunity to basically smash him in a kill box, and has decided to go straight into the attack.
Hard turning as well. But
to see if the B-wings did disengage. No, they went 4 straight.
Everyone gets to shoot him.
and
goes-
bomb
goes-
into the back of the B-wing, U-wings. Man, this is going to be hard.
He
U-wings and B-wings.
Destroyer, I'm going to.
And my microphone's a bit fuzzy when I don't talk right into it, so there we go.
And pretty sure the freeze rate will bump. So I'm going for focus and a barrel roll. Unfortunately, I think it fits.
It does.
It does fit.
You barrel rolls to the right to kind of slot in behind 10 nom.
Let's move these over here.
Yep. Okay, shooting. I'll start with the 10 nom.
As it is,
Range 3.
Range 3.
Let's see here.
10 nom firing range 3 on
Does have R to bend
Partisan
thick,
Renegade or
but
Bent
Here
Thick?
as well. 3 asteroid. No range though. No range.
No range. He has
no range.
No range there either. Yeah, that
So
makes it
on
easy.
Partisan Renegade. Well, we got a little cup, bang, 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 and we got one focus and 2 hits.
Counter it's 1, 2,
And
3.
3 evades. I'll spend the focus token.
Okay.
Crack shot means he takes
So
one.
I was blue. 1 shield.
Yep. And then Braylon.
Got that card too far away to be able to see what's going on.
Range 3.
Those are shiny dice, so it's a hit as a focus. 2 focuses and a crit. Gets 2 hits
Same
and a
target?
crit.
Yeah, same target.
And
3. It's
Oh, yeah. Braylon, yeah. 2 evades.
2 evades
crack shot.
and a
Just
focus.
show the crack shots on that. So we know.
No, we don't need to do that. But
Two
anyway,
shields.
yep, another 2 shields onto the Partisan.
pretty decent green dice.
Oh.
Okay,
So if that Partisan Renegade was to die early, that would not be a problem for me. And I have just realised this new iPad hasn't got the screen switched off. So 1 hit there,
Yep.
1 evade.
And Magma.
Magvayaro
1.
gets 1, and as a blank and a focus, takes a damage card.
Yeah.
Yep, there we go.
Rolled
Okay.
quite fairly
That
good.
was not much damage going through there.
5 damage. 4 damage.
4 damage on 12 dice.
Right. It's shame, sad that
Yeah.
I did forget to take focus token, so that was
Oh,
really nice.
yeah, okay, yeah. So
He's out of range, so calculated to not.
This one.
Shame. Well, I do have shots here, so let's start with.
That's what I wanted. Okay,
Bent
back to
Thick
chat,
and,
and I'm finished messing around with stuff. So yeah,
you have range
3 to both. Yeah.
the Partisan Renegade is the option to fire back,
Let's go here because he doesn't have range.
and he's going to fire on Cassian.
Yeah, go here. Ventic. That's 2.
Gets 2 hits and blanks out, so takes 2 shields on Cassian.
And we have a range 3 asteroid.
And yep, the blue squadron can fire as well through the asteroids.
That's 3.
Gets 3 after spending the focus. Blank, blank, blank again. 1, 2 damage cards. They're lucky there's no hits.
And then we have a range 2 shots here.
No, he's only taken 1. Right? He's not picked up 2 together, has he?
Ooh, I'm rolling good now.
Oh, finally.
Right, and there he gets his natural evades.
That was
I
something.
was kind of hoping if I critical go through.
Oh, yeah, Magma would have taken over would have thrown the twist.
Oh yeah. How many can you take?
One. One from each shot.
Yeah. So I would need 2 crits. Well, this just got interesting because we are on fair terms right now. 4 damage, 4 damage. Oh, this is indeed really rather interesting right now.
Gracias. So yeah, this is where we're going to see, now that camera's too low, so they've sat down. This is where we're going to see the, a lot of U-wing stops. a lot of U-wings closing their pivot wings and just kind of like pivoting.
A lot of rusty steel.
36 HP times 2. 72 HP to go through.
That's a lot.
Sorry about that, guys. Was just double checking something in settings, and it caused the camera to reinitialize. Let's take on advice to quickly go to the toilet. So here we go, guys. We've got some pretty curious lists so far. We had, well, the last two weren't really that curious because they were two lists from the last two top tables in the System Open series. And then this one we've got, I've seen the double U and double B wing before, but it's not that prevalent. And the quad U wing is something definitely I don't think any of us have seen before. Let's see if it can hold up here. And yeah, we're gonna see some Leia coming into force here to give them the actions. They'll be able to do that stop maneuver without hand actions.
39 minutes. That is 29 minutes remaining in the round.
So looking at the table as it is, they've taken the same kind of damage, both players. However, Rune has the initiative here, and he's going to be the one that's going to be able to maneuver last. And if all these U-wings are doing that pivot wing stuff, then this is going to be a lot more advantageous to Rune. No, so Jean-Joel, JJ, moving in. I'm guessing maybe he's going to try and build up a conga line blocking formation to try and make it more difficult for Rune's ships to get through and deny them actions. Because Benfic here, with his perceptive co-pilot, is going to be able to share out a couple of focus tokens. So even if he was to bump, he would still have some kind of defensive buff. No, he's taking it pretty easy here. Yeah, I mean, he's kind of setting up a blocking box. It's not going to be easy for Rune to get past. It works. He gets them all into a pretty good position.
You can just pull it like that. Just unlocking him. And now I'm going to take the action. That didn't matter anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so not bad there.
Stopping.
Yep.
And then let's see this would take.
I might just type U-wing in here because I can see all the cards together.
Wait, who's doing what?
The 10 num is doing 2 straight.
He started to. Just give it to.
Yeah, so Cassian at the start of that defensive page is 1 for any ship range 3. If you do that, ship removes 1 stress token. Of course, B-wings don't want to remove those stress tokens.
The outside of the.
So what did that extra? What did that
if it plays
focus token come from?
just on the edge and then a bit.
Okay, so I'm not able to work out how he got a focus token on. I guess he's.
I was a bit worried that you were going to block this space, so I didn't want to go.
Oh, because he did a zero maneuver, right? So he's used Leia, he's done the zero maneuver, and he's taken the focus action. So the way he didn't move, I just kind of figured he was assigning it for some effect. So I guess, let's see where Leia is. Yeah, he's flipped over all those charges. So yeah, he flipped over Leia this turn, and now he's... he did a stop with Magva Yarrow. Allowed her to focus. He did a stop with Cassian, allowed him to focus. 10 nums jumped across Cassian, focused, and we're discussing whether or not he wants to link a barrel roll to move himself out of the way of Braylon Strom, so that Braylon Strom can just slot into the same space, doing a maneuver for 1 speed extra.
And if I had gone with my initial, then I would have been standing here with.
Yeah, I was still worried that I would bump him into him and not be able to block him.
So just slightly forward and then just.
I can just do this. If you
got those regional templates here.
That's fine. A bit more back and if you remove it first.
So no, well, could have been worse, but yeah, I figured he'd have kind of called that gap in front of Cassian, and that was the whole point of him doing the barrel roll, just to kind of like slot himself out there. I mean, I guess Braylon
goes first.
Not Braylon. 10 num doesn't want to be at range 1 of 2 of 3 U-wings. And 1, 2 focuses, and that's that regional black die. Looks like he's got 3 hits in the end.
2 and a crit.
2 and a crit. Go on to Partisan Renegade. 1, 2, and then this one is damaged engine.
Okay, 10 num. Range 2 into there. We'll just go range 1 into Benfic.
Yep.
So he gets 1, evades 1.
Okay, cash.
So nothing happens
Into,
there. But damn you, ruining your shiny dice.
yeah.
He asked me at the beginning if it made a difference where he rolls, but I said no, I didn't realise you were going to roll shiny ones. And he's got shiny dice too, so it looks like he got nothing though. Spends a focus.
1 hit and 1 crit.
And that's a panic pilot, but that's a dead partisan renegade and I don't have to worry about that anymore. Mostly because it was half off the camera, so I couldn't tell what was going on.
Yeah. Yep. Range 2. Yeah. Who is it that has Jin? Is that?
And that was Jin.
Oh, that was Jin on that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Layers red.
Layers red, and those
Jin
have
is
tac officer. Tactical.
no, that's a tac coordinated. You see.
Oh, that's the perceptive, yeah. Of course.
Yeah, because.
Yeah,
double.
sure.
And he only has crack shots.
Yeah.
Because I had 1 point over. What do you do? Oh, pilot skill.
Benfic.
Nothing.
Yeah. Okay, so firing on Benfic gets 2, and Benfic rolls 1 evade.
Shield on
So it takes 1 shield.
Don't really matter. Now then. I should have stopped him with him first, but that might actually matter.
Oh.
Because
Yeah,
he's
of
got
course,
the same.
he has to, yeah.
But we will keep the results.
Yeah.
So what happens here?
Yeah, but it depends, if you're shooting that,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you did spend your focus, right?
No, I did not. Did I spend focus?
Yeah, because you spend your focus to get the hits on him.
Did I?
Yes, you don't.
Okay. Not sure, but I spent the focus here.
Who shot the last one?
That was, she shot last.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's right. I thought it was in.
Okay.
Then it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because you're shooting there.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
fine.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah, we have to remember that your marker actually goes in between. Yes. So marker onto Passion.
I would like to shoot here.
Yeah, okay.
We're going crack shot.
So Magva's going to fire on Jan Joel's Magva is going to fire on Rune's Magva with 2 focuses getting converted for 3 hits. 1 evade and a focus becomes 2, and this is Cassian then. Sorry, Cassian being fired on takes 1 card.
Then we have.
Or maybe that's
Benfic.
no, that's not how it works. I thought you said he was firing on Magva. Oh well.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it makes sense. He's already got damage on Cassian. He wanted to try and stick some more on. And he's get 3 hits there. And here you've got
2 more.
1 evade.
Left to how much? 1.
Right. Yep, takes 2.
course,
Down to
layers
1
on
hit
the
point
front.
left.
2 hits.
And 1 evade.
I'm happy with that.
And that's a
Yeah.
dead Cassian Andor. So tipping the favour of this battle steeply with a 3-point lead in Jan Joel's favour. But having taken Cassian off the board, it makes it a bit more difficult for... It's a better trade, Cassian, for Partisan Renegade. And the question is now, because Rune has already spent his layer, so it's going to be interesting to see how Jan Joel this turn pops his layer and does a bunch of zero maneuvers with the pivot wing closed to be able to flip.
Without Cassian. Yeah, that's why it's
I've just seen a note I want to go double check on.
And there were not a single crit in all of those results.
No.
It was just, Otherwise he would have lived. 1 crit he would have lived.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, but selfish, yeah.
Yeah. But he didn't roll 1 single crit.
For once, that's good.
So when they started the game, they were all stood up. Now they sat down, and so the camera looks a bit weird. Yeah, it looks like an interesting position right now. I mean, if Jan Joel was to flip Leia this turn, it's going to be bad for him, I think, because he's going to be defending with all three, and it basically just gives Rune the ability to just swarm around him, even if he can. And he can't perceive with that flip where Rune's ships could possibly end up, and might end up facing the wrong way. So no, I don't think that's what he's going to be doing this turn at all. I think this turn he wants to try and kind of dissipate the squadron. Wants to kind of split them up, take long maneuvers, separate them out. Although it's difficult being in the middle of that asteroid field, exactly what they can do from here without getting themselves into a pretty difficult position.
All right. Don't really want to do this, but I have to.
So once again, we've got 91 players here at the slaughterhouse in Malmö.
Right. Yep. Interface. There, yep.
Yeah, so he does flip Leia.
And slot here.
Does that Ewing have a K-turn on it? No, so it's basically just for the reds. The stops.
Two bank.
So blue squadron.
On the corner there. Yep.
Tries to bank in front of Benfic 2 tubes. Now that's gonna be a tight fit. I don't think he fits there. I don't think when they put Benfic back, Benfic's gonna fit now.
Can I put him back in? Or is that a bottom? It's a bottom. So just yeah. Cover it back. I had to make a try for it.
No, you need the template there
Yeah,
still.
it was close. Actually, thought it would have fitted.
Yeah, no, that's why I tested it. Check the like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So because of he stands still, he stands still.
Yeah.
So focus, double focus, focus. So there was a backup plan.
Yeah, everybody stays where they are, except for
I
the
really want to go here and block
Yeah.
it.
blue squadron scout,
They're gonna be blocked
who
this way.
bumped, but gets a focus anyway thanks to Benfic's ability.
This isn't really entirely bad.
All the Destiny guys have got their break.
It's just gonna fit. That was the most annoying part. It's just gonna fit.
Coming back from break, I guess, really.
Yeah. Focus and a barrel roll to the right.
Yeah, look at this.
Stressed.
Yeah, that's what I wanted, Who should be here?
Still considering.
So in this case, Magva's bumped, doesn't get an action. But the two B-wings have been able to slot themselves in pretty well. And I think this is 10 non.
And I need to spend that.
Actually, that was my second choice, but I played middle last time, so I'll try pad.
I'm going to take those 4 hits.
Okay.
It takes 4 hits.
So 2 shields.
And then Braylon.
And also best defense.
On Benfic 2 tubes. And Braylon firing as well gets 4 hits. 2, 3 and a crit, I should say. So we're getting some crit here. We've got 2 crits, you're saying.
Might survive.
And that's a console fire, and that's a damage. That's loose stabilizer. Loose stabilizer, I think.
Gets to have one last shot.
Now.
He might actually die.
Oh, no.
And then it's your marker. Your marker first. So you have range 2 on Braylon.
I do. That's so annoying. I have a crack shots. Because he doesn't have
Yeah, console fire and structural damage, not loose stabilizer.
So we go
Structural damage.
Okay.
Let's repay the favor.
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Oh, you kind of did. So shields off.
One
Crack shot, yes.
Yeah, and crack shots, an extra damage through.
Yeah.
So that's
And then Mark was shoot.
yeah.
Oh, it was a crit, yeah. Julie.
Fuel leak.
X-Wing players, that is 21 minutes remaining in the round.
have here.
2 minutes remaining in this round.
Let's just go for Leia. No, we're going for Mark.
Okay.
Okay.
Gets another 4 hits. I think there's even a couple of crits in there. This is on Magva this time
Here,
around.
man, you've rolled 12.
Yeah,
12 dice, 12 hits.
9 hits, 3 crits.
And that's a face up.
And it's a loose double.
Loose
It's
stabilizer.
a long straight maneuver.
Oh,
So he needs to go straight.
yeah. Okay, so...
And it's 2 tubes.
Yeah.
Hang on.
So console fire. He lives.
He lives. Thank you. Thank you, sir. He's going to shoot at Braylon.
Braylon, yep.
But that's the only one we can see. Time to repay the fate. No.
Okay.
Are you rolling?
You might as well.
Yeah.
I can check.
Yeah, and I can only save 1 anyway, so...
Yeah. So Leia left to spend.
Going for Marco?
And
Yeah. Go on a choice there. So.
Blue Squadron Scout now. Or is it? And 2 blanks.
One more, he would have been dead.
Yeah, or just 1 crit.
3.
Yeah. I'm lucky there.
Yeah, this is not working well for Rune right now. Things are definitely going out in Jan Joel's favour, getting some good damage through. I mean, Rune had a really good couple of shots off where he pretty much got all hits, but he's been left pretty much to a point where now it's the B-Wings versus what's left. And yeah, okay,
That was
12 dice,
quite
12
insane.
damage.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's just the fact he's managed to keep Benfic on the table.
very.
That's worked out very heavily in the favour of Jean Joel. Being able to give him one more turn to be able to work it out.
I was kind of hoping, thinking that he might take 4 or 5 damage.
Yeah, all in all, yeah, I had not expected to put that much in.
Yeah.
Now,
I did kind of an error because I should have focused just going through all 3 shots into Leia.
Yeah.
It was kind of slightly miscalculation.
I mean, in this situation, I think really what's going to happen here is where the B-Wings are going to be able to get behind the U-Wings, making them much more effective in the next few turns. The B-Wings are going to start to kind of dodge things around, making it more difficult for Jan Joel to actually nail them down, whether it be by pivot wings or by standard maneuvers. Being able to keep hold of those B-Wings in arc over the next few turns is going to be very difficult for him. All the while, both of them are taking that stress action economy that they have to be able to sink a lot of damage into him in this case. No, so let's see. Yeah, if he was to I mean, basically, yeah, they can jump behind this turn and be able to start putting some real damage through on the U-Wings. And yeah, I mean, one good shot on Magva and she's gone. Benfic is basically just a question of if he's in arc, he's going to be dead. Whether or not Rune is really bothered about losing his Magva at this stage, if he can manage to capitalise position with those B-Wings, being able to avoid fire from the U-Wings for the next few turns, then all I can see is black shapes. I can't I can see who you are now. It's just I'm face onto the windows outside, and if people just walk towards me waving, and I've got no idea who they are. Right, why is my... Oh, okay. Stream seems to have stopped from me on my iPad.
Yeah, it's 2k turn and 1 talon.
2k turn and 1 talon. So... I mean, the U-Wings have got to move first. So that 2k turn works out very well for 10 Nam, and yeah, well for I can imagine for Braden as well. 2k turn will put him pretty much where 10 Nam is right now, and then he can probably barrel roll right. No, he can't. He's be stressed. I'm thinking of something else. Yeah, but that would give them a good position, and maybe even if Magva manages to get her maneuver off without bumping, she can probably coordinate an action to them, giving them a little bit more of a surefire opportunity to put the damage through that they need to do. In fact, he really probably wants to have Magva fire on Benfic, just take him off the table, and then leave the 2 B-Wings to kind of start by taking Magva off, and then if one of them gets lucky and takes Magva off in one shot, then you get a free shot on the blue squadron, and this game's pretty much over.
I was looking at Leia here.
Oh yeah, it's
Stay on your ship.
yeah, and she didn't lose anything because they only rolled 1 hit. And
Don't jump ship yet, Leia. It's a bad idea.
It's too soon.
Shouldn't jump at all. There's only one hull left on that track. It's burning. Go there.
Yeah. And do you have? I think you only had one. You used Leia last turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true. That is true. Because he used Leia one turn before me.
Yeah.
And the fuel leak on Magva makes real no difference here either, whereas Jan Joel's Magva is the one that has the loose stabilizer, meaning she can't go straight this round, which would probably be what she really wanted to do.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll take one bank left to bump Braylon, making it harder for the Talon rolls and K-wings, K-turns to fit in for the B-wings. It's not Magva, it's Benfic 2 tubes, I was thinking.
And I'm going to repair that card, because I need to.
Yeah. Yep.
Should brought my sunglasses. Okay, so they're moving.
Then we go with Leia, take a stress and stand still. And here we got 3 straight as well. Can you just mark it on the court? Yeah. Is it nice in line with the other one so that
Yeah.
like that? Yeah, they get in the way or
Magva leapfrogs behind as well. Trying to get some distance here because of those B-wings. We're going to try and get behind them. You're also giving them a perfect position as well now, depending on what the
and he's going to do this. He's going to coordinate.
the blue squadron stopped then. Yeah, blue squadron stopped. But then I think the 10 num 2k turn fits, and Braylon could even try and do a 1 Talon roll and be easily able to take out Magva this turn in combat. Okay, Rune moves his own Magva first, bumping into the blue squadron scout.
Just go forwards. Slightly forward.
Yeah. I don't think it's your turn at all because of the back one.
Oh yeah.
A complete crazy moment. Stabilizing.
Braylon will do. Yeah, my first thought was to stay with Bentic there. He's the most stable in the same place there, but then I realized Leia's going to get stopped by 10 number.
Yeah, if yeah.
There you go. So Leia and
That was slightly the hope that if you had been just bumping in, then I would have had a lot of shots into one of some of these over here if they had.
So as it stands, the only combat we're going to see this round is Braylon Strom against the blue squadron scout.
not sacrificing him yet.
Okay, so that's one shot.
Yes.
So Braylon
against Leia, and Leia's going to return it, hopefully in favour.
re-rolling one.
That's a bit more.
Two re-rolls.
Yeah, he's re-rolling two. Yeah.
It's focus. So just two. One evaded and takes one shield on the blue squadron scout. That could have been a lot better for Rune.
Range one.
Yep.
My turn.
And focus blank hits.
Re-rolling.
Looks like he's get three in the end.
Nothing.
And takes three.
You want to take crit?
That's a Braylon. He has full shields.
Oh, okay.
The other ones are bumps.
Oh yeah. Right. Okay, can you take crits even for shields?
Yeah, I could pull it over on Marco, but that would be kind of silly. At this point, that would be stupid.
That would be stupid, yeah. I agree with you totally on that one.
Now, they go back to dials, and Rune's Princess Leia has just woken up again, primed to be popped this turn, allowing Rune's Magva to pivot, close the pivot wings and U-turn 180. Not U, pivot 180. And the Braylon can definitely do a 2K here. Maybe, not Braylon, 10 Num can do the 2K. Braylon might even go one Talon roll to the left to pursue Magva and Benfic. I mean, he doesn't want to be focusing down on, he doesn't want to be focusing too much on the Blue Squadron Scout. I mean, well, I guess if he doesn't take Leia off this table, she pops it. She's ready to go next turn for Jan Joel. So another thing to consider is whether or not he wants to try and get all three of those ships firing on the Blue Squadron Scout, even though the other ships are like pretty close to death. I don't know. I mean, it's very important here to see exactly what the Blue Squadron Scout does. I'm guessing from Magva and Benfic, we're going to be seeing slow creeping maneuvers forward. Magva wants to clear that stress, and Benfic will probably follow as suit. And then, like I say, I think we're going to see Princess Leia pop, and Rune's going to use his pivot wing on Magva, 2K with 10 Num, and who knows what he'll do exactly with Braylon. Like I say, the one Talon roll could be a possibility. Yeah, cautious set of manoeuvres to come out here from Jan Joel. For specifically what he's going to do with the Blue Squadron Scout, who is stressed. So 1 banks, 2 banks and straights are what he's looking at right now.
Ready? Yep. Just going to start here. 2 straights.
Over to the other camera.
Focus token. Give him a focus token as well.
And then just like after this round, we're taking an hour for lunch.
Yeah.
They've got a sign up saying that we should be back by quarter to 2.
That is 5 minutes remaining in the round. 5 minutes remaining in the round. Just a reminder, there is a lunch break at the end of this round.
There you go.
Please be ready and in your seats for 1:45 this afternoon. That is 13:45 this afternoon. Thank you.
Stress token. Requires a focus token.
So yeah, the Blue Squadron Scout ended up skipping over Magva, and so and he's used.
Oh yeah,
Like that.
that is true.
I just realized there was way too much space for Braylon all of a sudden.
Yeah, so he's popped Princess Leia this turn. So almost certain to see Magva just kind of spin around, maybe 90 degrees, maybe 180 to make sure that the other U-wings aren't escaping in the next few turns.
Onward, my men. Onward.
And I'm guessing
Remove this.
K turns, maybe even.
Okay. I'm standing
Yes.
Taking a focus.
I need to move there.
Measure for Tyler.
Yeah, you may.
It's a.
Yeah, okay. So we try.
Nope. So it's on the layer carrier.
Looks like he's basically turned around and said, I don't care about
Here, right?
Oh yeah.
I don't care about the Blue Squadron Scout. And Braden's, I suppose it was a talon roll.
So we get the.
No, he was stressed, so he doesn't want to remove the stress. So
Try to focus it on the back side.
Okay, yeah, you have it aligned there, yes. Okay.
Hold on. Lift them up a bit. I can see there we go. So, like, down.
a little bit fidgety, having to do these maneuvers
There we go.
Okay.
along those train tracks.
Take these away. Something like that. That's wonderful.
Wonderful, still messed it up totally. That was yours. Okay.
And the question is, did you notch him into or out? Or mark?
He had arc anyway.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take your word.
So,
No, he's on him?
yeah. Okay, Braylon has a shot into layer.
Yeah.
So Braylon fires on
Oh, yeah.
You're
the
not in range.
Oh.
Blue Squadron Scout
That's correct.
So 3 hits.
and gets free.
2 days. Thank you.
2 evades, only takes
Okay, and then Magva will go for that guy. And only
Two.
one hit. Yeah.
Wait. So that's the. You
Rune,
had your chance earlier.
Rune spent all of his dice luck in that earlier round where all of his dice came up hits, and he just can't get them through this turn. And ships stay on the board, whether it be Benfic, Magva, or whoever, they're still there. And they go back to dials. So relatively relaxed event today, only 91 players. You can see Vince in the background and Marshall for the event, just kind of trotting backwards and forwards. And even though it's only 91 players, yeah, don't think that that means that they don't shout loud when they need a judge. You'll hear them, judge! Here in the slaughterhouse, what would be the word? Rehabilitated abattoir. And pretty easy to reach as well because right next to the train station for Malmö. Yeah.
X-Wing players, that is time on the round. That is time on the round.
We've got a little bit longer.
Please finish the round you are on, and don't start a new one. If you've already begun setting dials, that does count as the start of a new round. So please just finish that one and then get your slips in as quickly as possible. Also, as a reminder, we are now on our lunch break. Please be back in your seats for 13:45 this afternoon. That is 1:45 p.m. Just over an hour away. Thanks a lot, everyone. Also, just as a reminder again, we do have an on-site cafeteria, which is just, if you go past the curtains here and just to your right. Apparently the food there is fantastic, so they do have a pulled pork burger special on at the moment for 110 kroner, as I recall. So that's a pretty good deal.
91. 91. What did you guys have in Poland this year? When it was November?
I'm going to use player.
Yep.
Okay.
Start with the white one. I think it's pretty
Huh?
straightforward.
Ballpark though.
And takes a focus action.
¿Quién eres? ¿Y vives
And
aquí?
gives a focus there.
Ah, vale.
Then we have Leia.
Ah, vale.
Right. This can maybe do it for me.
Ah, ya, es difícil.
¿Qué? ¿Qué dices?
Ah, qué chulo que venía así. Ah, vale, vale.
And
Ok, wait. Muy bien, no, encantado. Básicamente. ¿Tú estás jugando X-Men? Muy bien. ¿Y vienes desde México? Sí, pero dime una cosa, ¿has ganado 2 rondas? ¿Has ganado las 2 partidas?
No, nada más la segunda. Perdí la primera.
Avísame si cuando llegamos a ronda 5 si sigues con posibilidades. Hombre, porque mexicanos no lo han tenido. ¿Sabes? Mexicanos no lo han tenido esto.
Tengo esperanza de que esto no vaya mejor.
Ah, muy bien. Vale, perfecto. ¿Qué estás jugando? Básicamente lo que estoy viendo. And Cassian and Magda. Yeah. Okay.
It's a fail.
Leia, yeah. Okay. All right. Well, have a nice lunch. Gentleman comes over to say hello, and he's from Mexico. A Mexican who now lives in Gothenburg in Sweden. And I start thinking, I've never had a Mexican on stream before. That'd be cool. I've had American, Canadians. I think I've had a Brazilian. Yeah, I had a Brazilian.
Yep.
Yeah, I had a Brazilian in the UK. What have we got here? 3 hits. Bang, bang, bang. Have I missed anything as far as damage is concerned? I do not think so.
Your marker first. Yes, of course.
Into your magma. 4 dice.
2 damage onto Magva.
No. Okay. This, that one, and that one.
Yep, so we've got a second round happening right now, and we're just finishing right now.
Sorry, that's 4 hits.
He's dead. He's dead. Shooting back.
Oh, wait. Pull the click first.
You'll hear a doo-doo-doo-doo sound
Hull breach.
and a hull breach. And that must be
Also only one left, right? No.
so now suddenly they're rushing like crazy because they're realising everyone else is going to get lunch.
Many dice. Just going straight in.
Boom.
I have had Irish on stream with Gary Colton last year, as well as
Only 2 hits.
Colmac Higgins.
Yes!
Oh,
Thank you. It's time.
Dials down.
No, I haven't been. All dials must be done.
No, we started Vince. Is it one dial or all dials that needs to be down?
All it takes is one dial to be down.
One dial is down.
So you guys get full round, yeah?
Alright. That was just on the second. He's dead.
Yeah, he's dead. Yeah.
okay. This is the problem with me giving people separate times. Not happy about that. It does look like Rune just kind of like rushed through it a little bit, try and get one more round in. Not saying he managed. I'm not. I think. Well, you could go back on the stream later on the recorded video, and we could check exactly when time went off. There's like a doo-doo sound from my phone, which is right in front of the microphone, and yeah, I don't know, but it was pretty close. And now they're going to take ages. Oh god, I want lunch as well.
Oh, nice. In the last round shooting. get the best guy.
Like I say, exactly. I know. I mean, obviously, if they were both keeping an eye on the timer, it's nothing. They know where the timer is. The timer is right in front of both of them. Okay, they can both see it clearly. They know how much time is left. You could see Rune was rushing through, and he's in his right to do that. There was no problem there. My only problem is I don't know whether or not the the alarm on had sounded before they had dials in hand, cleared tokens, and such and such. I'm not going to get involved in that because it's not my place. The marshal is nearby. The two of them, if they had a difficulty with understanding exactly what should have happened, they would have discussed it with the marshal. They've not. They're playing one more round.
I think
it is very tight because
you've got full points here. I think
both of these are half.
Yeah.
And you have full here, so it's really.
I think you are in the lead.
So let me go through the list I've had.
Because these are
Polish, I've had American, I've had I've had Canadian, I've had Sweden, I've had Denmark, I've had
It's very close. It's down to
Germans, I've had French, I've had Belgians, I've had Spanish, I've had Portuguese. I'm just going across the map basically.
interesting part will be
I've had Hungarian players on at the European Championships, the inaugural European Championships. I've had... I think I had Serbia. I had Switzerland. I definitely had Switzerland. I think I had Serbia, but not Salvo, who we were talking about earlier.
He's not going to turn. Because otherwise I'd have
no dice at all. No.
Jan has to try and work out a way here to make sure he doesn't lose any more points. With Magva on 2 hit points, Benfic on 1, and Blue Squadron 2 hit points away from getting half points.
To get on the Tinam. Takes a focus token there. Same.
There was definitely there's a sound that the timer makes when time runs out. It's just, it's not the sort of sound you imagine. It's kind of like, because it's a little BlackBerry, and it's kind of like this. It doesn't just go like, because I didn't want to make it be super distracting to the players. So it just kind of goes something similar to that. And later on I'll put the sound on so it becomes clear. But like I say, I'm not saying that Rune did anything particularly bad. I'm just saying I don't know how close it was. I was on my way over to remind them that their timer was the one on the table, and that when that ran out, time was up, and he'd already started. So
make effort, try to block him.
That's all, just 4 straight, get the stress close as much as
Just
you can.
make short here. I got 1. If you do fail dice, I need blanks for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I
now
need blanks. That's not enough. That's you kill him.
2 hits, and he killed Benfic, I guess,
The points will
and
matter.
so he just gives him the game.
Range 2.
Range 2, yeah.
Oh, come on. Sorry.
It's alright.
Ah.
You still get half points.
Still half on
And he gets half points.
I don't have.
And you can't get him to half. He's full still, so but yeah. Still.
Yeah, they're kind of like being a bit
Yeah.
sloppy about it right now. We'll get quick interviews.
That was close.
So there we go.
It was a really nice dial toss, just because as it landed, it 1 second later.
That was all like, come on, let's finish. Bang.
Okay. Well, shame, but there you go.
It was close.
Yeah, it was. It came down basically to the fact that there was that extra round. You'd had the game won, and like I said, we've discussed it. I discussed it briefly here. I'm not saying he forced it. Obviously, he did rush through that last engagement.
No,
and both of you had the timer in front of you. I don't know when it stopped, so it's up to you guys really to control it.
1 second after you threw down the dial.
All right. So if you already had the dial in hand, then anyway, it's done. Yeah.
I had it just gone the time when it was in the air or whatever. But it's fair game. I mean, he did his right. It was a perfect move from him just to rush the dials and just getting in.
Yeah, of course.
Any maneuver, whatever. So I thought it was all dials down. So that's a mistake from me. No worries. I mean,
I knew it was close, and I was actually on my way over just to remind you both. But it looked like it had already happened.
We knew about the time, so no worries there. great game. Really fun to play against him. He had that one round when he hit everything.
Yeah. He had like some
12 dice, 12
and then,
damage.
yeah, and then after that it took him ages to get any more damage.
Yeah, I was a bit lucky just to have one of my Bentic alive with 1 HP so long.
Yeah.
But I think that one round made the decider to his favour. I thought it was. Then I killed his and even went to the lead. And it was a bit of confusion in the end. I thought it was 10 number that was damaged, but it was Braylon, so I didn't check that beforehand. So that's also my fault. But I haven't been playing since like 3 months ago. That last time played, so that's what you get when you start playing rugby instead. When the season starts, you can't.
There's still time, huh? There's still like
no,
4 more rounds.
It was a brilliant game. I really enjoyed it. So I won't be. There's no sad fucking boss. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. You were great opponent.
Obviously, we should also mention that you are from Sweden, he's from Denmark, and there is a rivalry there. There is a rivalry. So,
I mean, it was super close. Had it not gone to that extra round, I would have won by 4 points.
You were ahead on points, yeah.
So that was, I was just been stalling a bit, but no.
I guess
you can't do that. I mean, it's a fair game. It was.
No, but in the same way, obviously, it's not to say to play for time, but in the same way that he's rushed through,
yeah.
There's nothing to stop you just kind of like taking a moment to just think over your dice as you roll them, things like that. I mean, it's you're in your rights to do, and like people can say it's stalling, but then it's the same as him rushing. You know, it's like it's a really fine line between the two of them, and you are within your rights to do it, both of you. So it's a question of whether or not you're
on the other hand, I know the rules and I can do that, but I think it's fair game to him to do that, to rush it and get that final round and actually win it there, because he was on the verge of winning it so closely, and
it was pretty close. You kind of got really lucky in those last few rounds of not being able to stick damage on Benfica at all.
Yeah, exactly. So that was Benfica just surviving there, and not getting Leia, the blue squadron with Leia to half points, and just being there and just managing to almost win it. And I don't know, stalling in the game, not my cup of tea, to be honest.
Of course.
I'm here to have fun.
Okay.
A fun game, good game. I mean, it's these close games that I really want to have. Sure, he won it on time. Sure, it's a system open. But I mean, I have 1 win in the bag, so there's 4 more games to go.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't go through, there's always another day tomorrow.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for appearing on stream. Okay.
Thank you for
and good luck for the rest of the games.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, that was a cheeky one, Rune, wasn't it?
That was a really intense match. I was just like, okay, come on, we have time. I already knew what we were just, okay, get one down.
Alex, maybe because I wasn't sure exactly. I was on my way over there to remind you guys, like, look, time, and it was already happening as I was on my way over.
I was very focused on the timer.
So as I said, we can hear on the audio when the timer goes. Because it doesn't make like an alarm.
No,
noise.
but is it?
Yeah, because I didn't want it to make like invasive.
No.
I didn't want it to be like I'm trying to do my dials and suddenly, you know, like I wanted to be subtle, and it just goes, but it's right in front of the camera so we can hear it. And I was like saying, I don't know what happened. Right, but you can check afterwards. We can check it, but like because there was some concern that maybe you'd rushed through and maybe you might have been late. But he said there was 1 second left to go.
The dial was down just before it went off. So
there we go.
It was a really intense match. I was actually quite worried because that giant block of U-wings.
And takes a long time to get. And between the two of you, 32 hit points each and 64 on the table.
Yeah, and
it was going to be hard work.
And he had more defensive dice than I did. So I was like, okay, how are we going to approach this? I think I got a decent opening. Unfortunately, we sort of traded even up 4 damage each.
Yeah.
Difference was I used both my crack shots to get that through and had all of my ship shooting. So not the best round, but then so I was a bit behind. But then I got one insane round of red dice, 12 dice, 9 hits and 3 crits.
Yeah, we saw that.
No modifier.
But then that was it.
Insane.
That was where you spent your luck, and the next few rounds, nothing.
There was only sort of moderate rolls for the next couple of rounds.
That's kind of like as well, from the same reason as that if you hadn't have got that dial down in time, the game would have sort of been robbed from you. That like you were trying to put you had the game in your hand, you were trying to put that last bit of damage through, and you weren't getting it.
No, I just didn't get enough through. But and Jan Joel played it well. He just tried to get away and not rushing it. Was he ahead or was I ahead? It was very close, but then we counted up, and he would have been ahead by 4 points.
Okay.
If time had been called before.
Yeah.
So it was very close, and I had an idea that I was still behind. So
it was really close.
Yeah. It was a very interesting match.
Well, anyway, you've got 55 minutes for lunch.
Ooh,
okay. So good luck.
Yeah.
And
thank you.
Good luck with